Shalom family, this is yet again your boy, Jonathan Hebrew Prince, and I'm coming to you today on a beautiful, a lovely Shabbat morning. And time again, we'll talk about the Sabbath, we're talking about the Shabbat, a day of rest, a day of reflection, a day to look back on your week and find out what you could have done better and how the Most High has blessed your life. How he has taken care of you throughout this week and yet again allow you to see the close of one week and going into the opening of another week. All praises be to the Most High. So I'm coming today and don't know how long I will be because I have nothing but time this morning. So with that said, I kind of want to jump right into this thing. First thing, I have to give all praises be to HaWa. And if you notice, it's a little change in the name of the Most High that I'm now promulgating. That has come because I've been checked, I've been reproved, and I've been and the brother that did this came to me directly. And I want to send thank you to that brother. And I'm gonna just put it out there. Like I said before, I don't have any monopoly on truth. I don't have I don't have all the answers. That's not why I'm here. I'm here to tell you what I know. And if I'm wrong in any way, shape, or form, or I've been misinformed in any way, shape, or form, as I've said before, I welcome the rebuke. I welcome the reproof. So shout out to my man 432 The Drop, who's been putting out a lot of information. And he came to me, he said, brother, won't you look into this regarding the name of the Most High? And I looked into it. And now, with that, I had to make a change. So the previous videos that I have made, yes, the information as far as what you see coming out the scripture or whatever other documentation that I've given is still accurate. But from now on, you will hear me say HaWa, because there was a principle that this brother and my wife, my beautiful queen, brought to me from two different directions and said the same exact thing. Shout out to my wife, my queen, my beauty queen, Elisa Moon. That's my baby. And I thank the Most High for her. And the Most High used these two individuals, one that I've never seen before outside of videos and emails, and another one that I live with and gives me nourishment and love every single day. Used them both and said, you forgot your own principle. And put a principle in my head that I've told so many people, but in this regard, I did not do myself. And what was it? What's up is down, and what is down is up. What's left is right, and what's right is left. To those of you that have an understanding of what that means, I don't need to go further, but for those of you who have an understanding or no understanding of that, let me explain. In this current system that we're in today, every single thing you've been taught is a lie. And you've been taught it backwards. So when they tell you up, look down. And when they tell you something is down, look up. When they tell you something is on the left, look to the right. And when something is on the right, look to the left. Why am I saying that? From the transatlantic slave trade to the worship of Columbus Day, to all these other holidays, to the so-called black, the so-called African American, the so-called Negro being told they're Hamites, that we are of the lineage, a cursed, so-called cursed lineage of Ham, to Christianity, to all this other mess that's out here. We've been told things backwards, period. So when they say read left to right, you should read right to left. So why am I saying that? Because when you take the Tetragrammaton, Yod He Vav He, which I was pronouncing as Yahuwah or Yahuwah, when I was pronouncing it, if you take those same letters and you go backwards with it, guess what you have? The name of the Most High, HaWa. HaWa. That's what you have. And there's documentation that if you go through 432 The Drop radio, you go to his page, he has that laid out perfectly. And I would also put some of that documentation in future videos. If you're not going to go that route, you just want something quick, simple, I can hook it up real fast as well. But his drop is real. So definitely going to probably, once again, I have no monopoly. And I don't mind giving credit to where credit is due. That's what this is all about. This is about unity. This is not about one person having all the information. This is my channel. This is me. It's not about that. And that's the problem that we have today. Everybody's about self. Everybody trying to grow themselves instead of us becoming a collective unit and growing each other. And that's why I'll give a strong shout out to this brother, because this is one of the few brothers in my life that has ever reached out and said, hey, let me show you something right quick. And me, I'm working on humbleness, because I'm a very militant individual. But I'm working on being humble. My wife, shout out to my queen again, works with me very much on saying, make sure you're humble, make sure you know who you are, and make sure you know whose you are. So all praises be to the Most High HaWa for my wife, who constantly stays on me and ensuring that my mind is open and I don't get tunnel vision and run from 0 to 100 straight into a brick wall. So with that said, let me read a couple of scriptures on what I'm talking about here. I want to come from the book of Proverbs this morning to show you how important it is that when you are given information, you should look at that information and act as one that is wise. And if the information checks out, change your ways. If the information is real, change your ways. Don't know better and then not do better. That's what the issue of the Most High has with his nation. You can show us so much. The Most High was with us. Think about this, family. And I'm getting a little bit excited because I'm just speaking to your trill this morning. I didn't even mean to get in front of this, but this is just what the Spirit put on my heart, and this is what I'm going to roll with. This is what the Ruach is giving me, and I'm rolling with it. The situation is that we will learn something. We did have the learning of the wisdom of the Most High with us. He dwelt among us. Prior to this so-called Christ, he was with us. We knew. We was there. We saw his cloud. We saw his pillar of fire. We saw his presence in the tabernacle. We heard his voice, spoke to Moshe, and still did wrong. Do you think the Most High is punishing his nation because of something foolish? He's like, I was with you. I was right there. I was trying to show you. I wasn't trying to do nothing. Actually, I did show you. I showed you my miracles. I showed you my power. I fed you. I made sure that your clothes did not wither for over 40 years. You can wear the same shoes. Could you imagine having some Jordans on your feet that no matter where you went, how much basketball you played, they still stayed brand new? I would love to have a pair of shoes that would be able to do that, so I ain't got to keep buying shoes. The Most High did that for our people in the wilderness when he was transitioning us from the Mitzrayim captivity into the land of milk and honey in the land of Canaan. But we did not act wisely. We started out all right, but then we started going to these other Elohims, and he's like, y'all don't even know these other Elohims. Why you dealing with them? I'm right here. We had the knowledge. We had the gnosis. We had the information. It was right before us. And what did we do? Gave it away. Gave it no regard. That's not wisdom. How does that apply to us today? That applies because when you have information before you, it should change your life. It should change your walk. It should change your talk. It should change your mindset. It should change your inner being. It should change you from your core when the information is given to you. It's given right in your hand. We are in the age of technology. I call it a microwave technology, because all you have to do is go to Google and pull up something. Type in anything and you can pull up the origin of it. You can find out where it come from. You can find out how it was manipulated. Why is it being used the way it is today? You can find out all that with just the click of a button and a few words. That's it. There's too much technology and information for us to constantly be wallowing in falsehood and foolishness. And I'm saying that from my heart out of love to your family, because I too have done this. But let's look at these scriptures. And the scripture says this, coming from the book of Proverbs chapter 9, verse 7. And it says, he that reproveth a scorner getteth to himself shame. And he that rebuketh a wicked man getteth himself a blot. Verse 8, reprove not a scorner, lest he hate thee. Rebuke a what? Wise man, and he will love thee. Shout out to my man and to my wife. I love y'all. Why? Because y'all gave me some rebuke, some reproof, some information. And I'm not saying I'm wise by no stretch of the imagination. I'm trying to become wise. Hence, if I'm trying to be like something or somebody, hence a wise man, therefore I have to make sure I go into these scriptures and find out the characteristics and attributes of that which is wise. Who is that? Right here in the verse it says, rebuke a wise man and he will love thee. There's no reason to go against my woman, my queen, the one that's been here. There's no reason for a brother to go against a brother that don't know me. You know what I'm saying? And has no alliance to me as far as having to do anything for me at all, to reach out to me, give me some information, and then I act as a fool and not take that. And that's what we have to stop doing as a people. We have to stop getting in our feelings, and we have to ensure that if somebody trying to help us, one of our brothers and sisters, cousins, uncles, daddies, wives, whoever, trying to help us, take that information in and use that information to better oneself. So again, I'm not saying I'm wise by no stretch, but I'm trying to walk in the example of a wise man. So when this brother reached out, and when my wife came at it from a whole nother angle, and they both did it around the same time frame, there was no other choice but to either act wise or act foolishly. Look what it says in verse 9. It says, give instruction to a wise man, and he will be what? Yet wiser. Teach a just man, and he will do what? Increase in learning. That's what this is about, family. It's about us increasing in our learning. What are we trying to learn? We're trying to learn. We try to learn this beautiful word that I love right here. It's called truth. What are we trying to get rid of? What are we trying to bust up? Lies, falsehood, deceit, ignorance, folly, foolishness. That's what we're trying to get rid of. Why? We need truth because the Most High, HaWa, is truth. So if there's no truth in you, then you can't be one with HaWa. Period. You can't. You can't. I don't care what sect you're a part of, what camp doctrine you following, what religion you're in. If you don't have that truth in you and you're not searching constantly for the truth, then guess what? You're foolish and you can't become one with the Most High. So with all of that said, it's important, family, that we come together and we continue to do what my wife has done to me, what this brother 432 The Drop Radio King Drop was able to do for me. And on my side, we have to be able to do what? Accept change. We have to be able to accept that. And I will be honest with you, frankly honest. I hate change. I really do. Because you get caught up and you get, I'm a creature of habit. You become in this habit and it's all good. And you think you solid in what you in. But we must, as a people, this is not just about me. I'm using myself as an example because I love transparency. I'm doing the best I can to be transparent, to let everybody know out there that, hey, just because I got a YouTube channel and I mentor some brothers here and there and I do my job and all this other stuff, I got a family, Most High blessing. Just because that's happening don't mean that I don't have some issues I got to deal with. That doesn't mean I'm not human. That doesn't mean that I don't have that I still don't have that I don't have growth to deal with. I have to grow. Constant reading, constant research, constantly looking. It's constant, family, and it's a process. I told one brother, I said, appreciate the process. Young man I was dealing with at my job, and I said, listen, brother, appreciate the process. Yes, you want to get to this place and you want to do these great things, but the man you are today will not accomplish that which is needed to be done by you tomorrow. The brother of tomorrow that's in you, through your reading, your research, through the Most High, that brother in the future will look back on this current brother and see the growth and appreciate the process. Because the brother we are today, the people we are today, we have to grow. We have to grow so that the people of tomorrow that we will become can complete the mission of us today who are dreaming about the future. Let me say that another way. I, 10 years ago, dreamt of what I'm doing today. But the brother that I was 10 years ago cannot accomplish what I'm dealing with or go through what I'm dealing with today. I had to grow into this. So now the person I am today is fulfilling the dreams, the aspirations of the brother I was 10 years ago. And the brother that, if the Most High allow me to live, the brother that I will be, Most High willing, 10 years from now, will accomplish the dreams and the aspirations that I have today. Because the brother I am today can't accomplish what needs to be done 10 years from now. I have to grow into that brother, because that's going to be a different brother for that time to accomplish what I'm dreaming about today. Appreciate the process, my people. Appreciate the process. We have to learn to appreciate our processes. And if there's anyone giving us information, if there's a book that you pick up and you read and it has some information, if you open up the scriptures and you see something different, don't disregard it. If you have a question in your mind, don't disregard the question. Go get the answer. Don't be so quick to fall back into your so-called faith or so-called doctrine. No. Don't do that. Answer the question. Seek the wisdom. Let's go to Proverbs chapter 2. I'm feeling good this morning. Let's go to Proverbs chapter 2. One of my favorites. One of my favorite passages of scripture is within these first few verses right here. It says, my son, if thou wilt receive my words and hide my commandments with thee, so that thou incline thine ear unto wisdom and apply thy heart to understanding. Yea, if thou criest after knowledge, not ask for it, not just look a little bit here and there. It said cry out, criest after knowledge, and lifteth up thy voice for understanding. If thou seekest her as silver and searcheth for her as for hid treasures. I ask this question all the time when I read this to folk and even to myself. If I told you, or somebody told you, there was millions of dollars worth of silver and gold sitting in your presence, there's hidden treasures somewhere in your house, somewhere in your car, somewhere at your job, somewhere wherever you are, there's hidden treasures. And if you find it, it's yours. I can guarantee about over 95% of those listening to me and those that I've asked this question to will put pause to whatever it is they're doing, and they're going to go look for that silver treasure. And they're going to have everything in the house tore up. At the job, they're not going to do any work. They're going to tear that house up. Why? Because they know if they get that treasure, guess what? They don't have to do no more work. They ain't got to worry about going to work no more. They're rich. It's the same way that these scriptures in verse 4 right here is telling us, if thou seekest her who is her, wisdom. If thou seekest her as silver and searchest for her as for hidden treasures, then shalt thou understand the fear of HaWa and find the knowledge of Elohim. The question is, do you want that knowledge? Do you truly want it, or are you wrapped up in your religion? Do you truly want it? Or are you okay with the way life is? Do you truly want to know what the issues are in our lives and how to correct them? Or are you just blowing smoke and having a good conversation for that time? What is the truth behind your reasoning? And I have to be transparent, family. When I was presented with the information about the name of the Most High, I had to ask these same questions to myself. What is your true intent? Matter of fact, the brother put it out. What is your true intent? What are you trying to accomplish? Had to reflect, had to go back a little bit. I had to accept that reproof, that rebuke, and come to it and say, man, Jonathan, what are you doing? What is the end state? What is the end goal? Is it for self? Are you trying to become popular? Are you trying to become rich? Are you trying to become a YouTube sensation? What are you doing? Are you willing to change, Jonathan? Are you really about that life, that truth? Are you willing to lay down your life for this? What is the motive behind what it is that you're doing, Jonathan? These questions we must all ask ourselves. And collectively, as a nation, we must ask ourselves. As a so-called Black African American Negro, we must ask ourselves these questions. If you're over an organization, you have some institution, whatever it is you're dealing with, what is the truth behind the motive? And do you really want that wisdom? Because I'm going to tell you something. Sometimes you got to come back and do what I'm finna do right now. My apologies. My apologies. Why am I apologizing? Because I propagated the wrong name. That's very important, because what does that do? Lead people into what? Idolatry. And I don't want to be a part of that. I'm trying to lead people to the Most High, because idolatry is what has us in this position today. So it's very important that we reflect, because the decisions we make and the things we say affect others. No man, no woman is an island, not one. What does that mean? That means that you don't dwell by yourself. Even when you think you by yourself, you are affecting somebody else, because you are someone's child, husband, daughter, son, whatever. You friend, associate, compadre, whatever. You affect other people. So what you do and how you act and what you say and where you go affects somebody, whether you know it or whether you don't. No man, no woman is an island. Hence, it's very important that we take responsibility for our actions. And instead of us just acting arbitrarily and in our feelings, we need to ensure that we do some proper research. We need to search. We need to research. We need to search some more. And then we need to do some further research. When you think you have arrived, when you think you got it, when you think you solid, research all that again to make sure. And once you think you sure, make sure again. Why? Because every single thing you do, say, and go affects somebody else, whether it be in the positive or in the negative. And I don't know about you, but I'm going to tell you where I'm at with this thing. When I go before the Most High, and when he wake me up from sleeping with my fathers and I got to go before that judgment, I'm telling you this right now. I want to be able to answer the question. And when he asks me, if he asks me, which way did you affect people? I want to say in the positive. I was trying to lead them to you, Father. I was doing the best that I could. If we can't say that in our hearts, we wrong. Straight up. No holds bars. Real talk. If we can't say that, if we can't answer that with 100% assurity before the Most High, we can't answer it like that. We have to reevaluate what we're doing. There's so much bickering amongst us as a people. There's so much going on. So many camps, so many organizations. What is our motive? What are we trying to do here? What is the truth behind our matters? Let's go to Proverbs right quick. I'm going to stay in Proverbs. And I want to go to verse 20. I want to go to chapter 27. And I want to go to verse 5. Open rebuke is better than secret love. If you dealing with somebody somewhere and they not willing to tell you to your face you wrong. They can't pick up a phone and say, hey, you jacked up. They can't send you an email and say, hey, once you take a look at this and reevaluate your stance. If you dealing with somebody like that, I'm telling you right now, look what the scripture says. Open rebuke is better than secret love. Look what the next scripture says. This is faithful are the wounds of a friend. You know a friend because they're going to tell you what you don't want to hear. That's a friend. That's a real friend. See, right now, because of Facebook, Twitter, all these social media programs and this over sensationalized use of the word friend, bestie, and all that stuff, people have a misconception of what a friend is. You only find a few of them throughout your life, a real, no kidding friend that's willing to give you some wounds. Right here, where it says faithful are the wounds of a friend, but the kisses of an enemy are deceitful. See, we so used to kisses and hugs. That's what we look at as being in correlation or a direct result of friendship. But according to our ancestors, and we look back at what the king wrote, King Shalom, also known as King Solomon, what did he write? Faithful are the wounds of a friend. That means he tearing you up. He or she is willing to look at you and say, you're jacked up. You're toe up from the floor up. Get your mind right. If you dealing with somebody that hasn't told you that, it's not because you perfect. I promise you that. It's because they might not be your friend as you think. They might like the idea of you. They may like what you can do for them. They may like your status. They may like the fact you got some money. They may like your big house and your cars, but they might not necessarily care too much about you. And the minute you lose the house, the minute your car is repossessed, the minute your status in society decreases, next thing you know it, they flee. My mother, shout out to my mother, Queen Emeritus of my home. One thing she said that was phenomenal. She said, baby, you won't know your friends until you hit rock bottom. You won't know your friends until you hit rock bottom. You won't know your friends, son, until somebody or something happens to you. She said, son, don't call everybody friend. My wife, again, shout out to my queen, my reigning queen. She said, honey, I've been through this life a little longer than you. And I done been through a little bit more than you have. And I can tell you right now, everybody ain't your friend. We teach that to our daughters, let them know, hey, just because people smiling in your face, that don't mean they're your friend. They got folk that'll kill you with a smile. So if you getting kisses all the time and hugs from folk, and they're not telling you where you jacked up at, I'm going to tell you straight up, reevaluate that individual. Confront that situation to find out, hey, why haven't you really told me about myself? I'm sure I'm not perfect. Challenge it. Why am I saying all this morning, family? Because there's a lot going on within our community. It's so much going on within our community. And right now, we need some faithful friends that's going to give us some wounds, that's going to be real with us. There's a lot of kissing going on. The enemy is tearing us up. And a lot of it is within us, not even from outside. Crabs in a barrel mentality. Accepting rebuke, accepting that love from someone is imperative. Especially if we call ourselves leaders. And we call ourselves one that will be a part of the betterment of our people, or the betterment of our children, or the betterment of our schools, or the betterment of our economy, the betterment of this, the betterment of that. You can't do that if you're not willing to accept any rebuke. And you can't do that if you're not rebuking others that you care about, that you claim you care about. It's very, very important that we look at this principle of when somebody gives you some information, you accept it. And you look at it, you evaluate it, consider the source. And if it checks out, don't let your pride get in the way of you accepting that which is true. Because pride cometh before a great fall. But the Most High, he shows favor upon the humble. And I don't mean you walking around just feeble. No, humble meaning that you are able to open up your heart and open up your mind, and you are able to receive that which will better you, as I've had to make the change myself. So I'm not telling you anything that I'm not dealing with, but we have to learn this principle. I want to go down to verse 17. It says what? 27:17. Another favorite of mine. Iron sharpeneth iron. So a man sharpeneth the countenance of his friend. Again, I tell you, my family, my people, my brothers and my sisters, it is imperative that we are able to sharpen each other. That's why right now I'm just giving you transparency in my heart, saying to the drop, thank you. To my wife, my queen, my nurturer, the one who's had my back. Coming up on 8 years in about 30 days. We're coming up on 8 years of marriage. This woman since day one has had my back. I remember when she bought me that Chick-fil-A sandwich when I'm on my feet for 12 hours at Verizon Wireless down in Mississippi. She bought me that food and had me good for the rest of the day. That's day one. After a conversation, looking fine, divine, sublime, prime, and right on time. She been looking out for me since day one. To my woman, thank you. Because there was days where I thought I was good and I was right and I'm running full throttle, and she jerked that chain and said, nope, you're wrong. And it felt horrible. But she was sharpening me. And when you take two pieces of iron and you rub them together and they sharpening each other, that's not a good, first of all, it don't sound good. It hurt the ears a little bit. And I can imagine the heat and friction that's going on between the irons. It doesn't feel good. And a lot of times we fell into that friction because one, I was prideful. I didn't want to see the truth, but it was right there in front of me. And she would not let off me until it happened. Just like this brother sent me some love, and he sent me that email, and I had to reevaluate it over and over and over and say, man, God, to the point to where it really hit my inner spirit. And what did I have to do? Make a decision. To every single leader out there, you should have somebody on your side. Whether it be your woman, your man, your friend, your uncle, your cousin, your mother, your daddy, whoever it may be, you should have someone on your side that can tell you where you're wrong. And if you don't have that, pray to the Most High for that, because that's what you need. And if you got a whole bunch of people around you that's not telling you where you're wrong, be careful. Because those folk, according to these scriptures, may not be your friend. They may be giving you that secret love for a reason. They may be giving you the kisses of the enemy. You can't recognize it in accordance with verse 6 of Proverbs 27. Because that friend, that individual that loves you, truly love you, they're going to give you that. They're going to give you that rebuke. They're going to reach out to you. They're going to give you that reproof. I didn't mean to go all into this real hard, family. But I'm going to have to make another video for what I really was going to make and talk about. But iron sharpeneth iron. So a man sharpeneth the countenance of his friend. Open rebuke is better than secret love. Faithful are the wounds of a friend, but the kisses of the enemy of deceit. We must be wise. We must make sure that we are in this thing for real and for true. I don't care your denomination. I don't care about your feelings. I don't care about what you think. Research the matter. Well, first, search the matter. And then after you searched and found something, then research that matter. Ensure that you are correct. Time and time again. You're not an island. You affect somebody. Somebody loves and cares for you. And somebody is dependent on you. When we as a people can get these principles together and we stop pulling each other down, and we stop falsely and incorrectly with no information rebuke each other and really seek and search out a matter and be able to come and sit at the table and talk about a matter without fussing and cussing and acting a fool, when we are able to do that, we gonna be an exalted people. We gonna be a people to reckon with. Right now it's too much division. It's too much me, and I, and not enough we. And when you look at our creator, our shaper, our framer, our sustainer, the Most High himself, HaWa, when you look at him and his example and how he addressed us as a nation. A nation. A nation. Yeah, he would take out an individual here and there, but that individual would do what? Address who? The nation. We have to change our mindset from individualistic to nation. That's what we have to do, family. When we are willing to be humble, set aside our pride and feelings, know who we are and whose we are, then we can connect to the Most High HaWa, and he will deliver us out of our captivity. I love you, family. I pray that you understand what I'm trying to give you today. Until next time, shalom.